Howdy ho there, friends and neighbors. Bobby here tonight. Hey folks, tonight I'm going to show you how to adjust the clutch on a 2004 Harley Davidson Dyna Wide Glide. The first thing that we need to do before adjusting the clutch is to put this bike up on our motorcycle stand where the bike sits upright. So let's go ahead and do that right quick. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and take our cordless impact here. We got a T27 Torx bit on here. We're going to remove the 5 primary cover screws. So let's go ahead and do that right quick. Okay, we're going to go ahead with the screws out. We're going to go ahead and pull our primary cover off and lay it down on a soft rag on the ground. Okay, next you want to go ahead and locate your clutch cable, and you want to find the spot where there's a boot here, because your adjustment is going to be right underneath this boot. So let's go ahead and slide this down to expose the locking nut and the adjuster. You go ahead and get your boot all the way down out of the way, okay? And then you will take a 9/16 wrench and a 1/2 inch wrench to go ahead and break the lock nut loose, okay? Now we can turn our adjuster here to take some of the free play out. We want to get all the free play out of the cable before we actually adjust our clutch. And it looks like we've already done that. Now friends, what I'm talking about as far as free travel, you see all this play right here between the ferrule on the end of the cable and the clutch bracket. We want to have plenty of play here so we know that all the tension is off of the cable before we make our clutch adjustment. Okay friends, we're down here at the area where we're actually going to make the clutch adjustment, and I want to show you this little tool that I've made. I took a 11/16 socket and welded it to a wrench many years ago for adjusting this, and we're going to go ahead and put that on there and break our lock nut loose, okay? So let's go ahead and break that loose, and we'll spin it back just a little bit. And now with our Allen wrench that fits here, we're going to tighten this down until it lightly seats, okay? So we're just going to tighten it down until it lightly seats. We don't want to torque it too much, okay? Now that you've taken up all of the travel in the clutch, come up here to the clutch lever and squeeze it all the way down one time and release it. And that will ensure that the balls are seated in the ramps. Okay, back down here at the clutch now. We're going to take our Allen wrench and we're going to back it off anywhere from 1/2 a turn to a full turn. So let's go 1/2, and then I'm just going to put it at 3/4 of a turn. And while holding it in that position, go ahead and lock down your locking nut, and now your clutch is adjusted. Now all that's left is to adjust the end play on the clutch cable. So I'm going to start turning this, and if you bring the camera right up here, the distance that we're looking for is between this gap right here, okay? This gap needs to be anywhere between a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch, which is, if you take a $50, that's somewhere in between right there. You want it to just snugly kind of fit in between here. So as you can see, we got to take up a little bit of that gap now. So I'm going to turn this a little bit more until I get that gap just a little bit tighter, and that looks pretty good right there. And as you notice, the $50 fits in there perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this down. And by locking it down, I mean just to spin our lock nut back down up against our adjuster and use our 1/2 inch wrench and our 9/16 wrench and just snug that locking nut back in place, and then we can go ahead and put our boot back in place. Now all we have left to do is to reinstall our primary cover. Looks like our gasket is in good shape, so no need to replace that today. And we'll go ahead and start all of these by hand before we put our 27 Torx bit in place. Okay folks, hey, with the primary cover reinstalled and tightened back down, that completes our little clutch adjustment project on our Harley today. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it very informational. Don't forget to subscribe, tell a few friends about us, and we'll see you next time. Take care.